It's only because this world really, really gives me tension that I'm going to do something I don't ordinarily do. I'm going to bed.
From movies that could have been good but weren't, to ones that were doomed to fail from the get-go, allow us to show you the top 9 worst movies ever. Like and subscribe and watch this video all the way through, or you will wake up to this creepy spider crawling on your face. 9. Cats.
When you fall on your head, do you land on your feet?
Let's start with a movie that happened recently that went from "this will be the best thing ever" to "oh my gosh, what am I watching?" Cats, for those of you who don't know, was one of the best-selling and most beloved musicals of all time, done by Andrew Lloyd Webber, no less. So the idea of the musical being brought to the big screen via movie in our day and age with so many good graphics and CGI, yeah, the potential was there. Things only got more interesting when the cast was revealed. James Corden, Taylor Swift, Gina Davis, Maggie Smith, Idris Elba, Ian McKellen, and more. This was an all-star lineup. And then the first trailer for the film came out and fans were like, what am I watching? The trailer is still one of the most downvoted trailers of all time, and the reason was that the graphics looked horrible. Think about that. The stage show apparently had a better look than a CGI film. Once the movie came out, fans were really scared as they saw what they referred to as a horny cat show, and the visuals honestly hadn't improved at all. There are good ideas when it comes to musical adaptations being turned into movies, but this was not one of them. Here's a fun fact. The people behind Cats were so confident that their movie was going to be a success that they were readying themselves to put the movie out for Academy Awards. After the film bombed hard, they rescinded that notion. That was the smart move, don't you think? 8. Catwoman.
Not on the first date.
Don't flatter yourself, lady. I'm taken.
Does she know about us?
There's no us.
Too bad.
Yes, we're going from Cats to Catwoman. There are a lot of bad superhero movies in the world. Some are the product of bad timing. Some are the product of trying way too hard to be something cool and failing horribly. Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance, anyone? And then there was Catwoman, a movie that by all means should have been awesome, but because of a terrible script and a lack of consistent people behind the scenes, became the torchbearer for what not to do with a superhero character. The irony of this film is manifold, not the least of which was that this film came when Halle Berry was at the height of her fame and movie prowess. In many ways, this could have been the peak of what she did, and many people agree she could have been a great Catwoman. It was the script that failed her, and the outfit that she wore might have been seductive, but it wasn't exactly something that was more than eye candy for viewers. The plot was trash, the action was lame, and the dialogue was terrible because they kept going through revisions of the script. And the movie bombed, and Halle Berry was nominated by the Razzies for Worst Actress in a Film. And get this, she was at the show to accept it. She thanked Warner Bros. For putting her in a dumpster fire of a movie. Hate the movie, but love the way she accepted that award with grace and dignity. 7. The Emoji Movie.
Hey, I got your text. That's one super cool emoji.
I know, right?
Okay, let's get back to some more recent ones. If movies are anything, they are predictable in certain aspects. Mainly they're predictable in that they are good at trying to capitalize on trends. The superhero genre is a great example of that, but the one trend that failed hard on was the Emoji Movie. Now, shows like Wreck-It Ralph, Reboot, the original animated series, not the horrible remake, and others have taken the idea that these programs are more than we think they are to great heights. The Emoji Movie? Not so much. There wasn't much depth to the plot, and the characters were more shallow than the emojis that they were meant to represent. The real tragedy here was that the movie got marketed to high heaven, and they had great voice actors like Patrick Stewart there to help bring the star power. But was he a proud emoji? No, he played the poop emoji. How dare you do that to Patrick Stewart? This movie was garbage and was panned to high heaven. Shall we move on to the next topic? Great. Make it so. 6. Jack and Jill.
Seriously, honey? Can't you try a little harder? She's your sister.
Look, let's be honest here for a second. When it comes to Adam Sandler movies, you either like them or you don't. Comedy is a subjective thing to be sure, and to some people his movies are hilarious. Happy Gilmore, The Waterboy, Grown Ups, etc. But when it came to Jack and Jill, yeah, no one was laughing at all. The concept was as timeless as you would expect. A man has a twin sister, and she decided to come over for the holidays and all but wreck his life. That's the basic plot. But the problem for most was that the hook of this film was Adam Sandler playing both Jack and Jill. And that led to a lot of scenery that we can't unsee. Now, sure, we can give him props for trying hard to make this work, but the movie was, and still is, the worst reviewed movie he's ever done, and easily one of the lowest grossing he's ever done. He's still a rich guy though, so I'm sure he'll be fine. 5. Steel/Kazam.
It's hammer time.
What a magnetic personality.
We're going to do a 2-for-1 special here because of the star of Steel and Kazam is the same man, Shaquille O'Neal, aka Shaq. This was during the prime of his career when he was the biggest thing in Los Angeles alongside the late Kobe Bryant. And when you're one of the biggest names around and you have a lot of fame, Hollywood tries to capitalize on that, and they decided that Shaq would be great for some movies. They were wrong. Kazam did the genie in a bottle storyline to ridiculous levels, and Steel was another early attempt at superhero movies. It was made in 1997, and it was so bad it hurt to watch. The problem wasn't just the writing, it was Shaq's acting. You could tell he was trying to act, but it didn't really work out. Call it lack of experience, call it lack of talent, whatever you want. The movies were bad. Steel was a huge loss for Warner Brothers, as it didn't even make $2 million at the box office. Sure, Shaq has improved his acting skills via commercials and such, but I wouldn't bank on him being in any big movies anymore outside of a cameo. 4. Jaws, The Revenge.
We got a big fish down here, man.
Oh yeah? How big?
When you think about the movie called Jaws, you think of the Steven Spielberg classic about a shark in the water and it doing impossible things, including things proven literally impossible by Mythbusters, and just causing havoc for everyone and everything that's in its wake. It's honestly one of the most important movies in cinema history, including having one of the most memorable endings with the death of Bruce the shark. The sequels to Jaws, though, not so much. Yes, sequels. You might think that modern days are all about sequels and reboots, but the 1980s had them as well. There were multiple Jaws sequels for whatever reason, and the worst of the bunch was Jaws, The Revenge, also known as Jaws 4. Why you would ever think that Jaws needed a sequel outside of potential money is beyond me. Eventually, the characters should wise up and get out of the water for good. But no, they didn't, and this film was the result of so many bad things it's painful to talk about. What's one good thing about the movie? It had Michael Caine in it. 3. Dragon Ball Evolution.
What are you doing here, geeko?
I'm just going to the party. Look, I was invited. I'm not looking for any trouble.
Trouble found you, freak.
If you think that getting superheroes to the screen is a hard thing, you're right. There's a lot of work that needs to go into it in order to make sure that everything looks good and feels right. The same should be done for video game movies, which we'll get into, and movies based on popular cartoons and animes. Such was not the case with Dragon Ball Evolution. Dragon Ball Evolution was a terrible and downright blasphemous attempt to get the Dragon Ball franchise into live action, and the results, or lack thereof, speak for themselves. First of all, Goku, he was a regular kid going to school, which totally conflicts with the anime. There was whitewashing, there was terrible acting, there was terrible plots, and a distinct lack of just about everything that made Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z a great thing. Fun fact, the actor who played the villain, Piccolo, revealed that the beloved character was actually going to be blue in the movie, but he fought for him to be green because that's how the character looked in the show. He respected the lore. Everyone else didn't. 2. From Justin to Kelly.
There are a million hot girls here and you're still talking about the one girl who blew you off.
Oh yeah, you forgot about this one, didn't you? When American Idol came to our television sets, we were blown away by the singing competition. There was talent, there was drama, there was great drama, and the final showdown between Kelly Clarkson and Justin Guarini was a fun one to top off a magical first season. So how did they top off that first season? By trying to bank in on the new fame of Kelly and Justin by doing a terrible movie. From Justin to Kelly was a musical/love story that saw the two basically being star-crossed lovers, and you don't care, do you? It's fine, we don't care either. Needless to say, the movie bombed so dang hard, it's honestly hilarious how bad they did. So much so that this kind of thing never happened again on American Idol, and they even made fun of the movie in season 2 of the show. 1. Super Mario Brothers movie.
Name? Mario. Last name?
Mario. It's Mario and Luigi Mario.
Yes, this one. This one right here is almost undisputably the worst movie of all time. A precedent of how bad video game movies can be, and many have barely risen above this. Trust me. And why you must respect the source material or else. There was so much I could say about the Super Mario Brothers movie. The fact that they honestly had star power in it, including Dennis Hopper as Bowser. They actually tried to be accurate at times to the source material, and that the actors and actresses really did want the movie to be good. But it wasn't. It was so bad. The movie went through development heck, and the result was something that was barely even acknowledged by the movie studio afterwards. To say this movie bombed is an understatement. It is so reviled that we can't help but laugh when we think about how bad this movie was. The visuals, the plot, the extreme changing of the lore, nothing in this movie was good. Nothing. And that's why it's at the top of the list. So, what do you think? What do you think of this list of the worst movies ever? Are you surprised by some of the ones that made our list? Do you think that one of these movies should be swapped out with something else? Do you somehow like one of these films? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on the channel.